This is BBC Television. And now the first episode of a new 700-part adventure in time and space, as two school teachers find themselves trying to answer the question, Doctor Who?
I know I said I was giving up reviews forever, but come on now. Did you really think I was going to miss this occasion? A warm welcome, my Whovian Hovies. I am the Doctor Who Kid, and it's Doctor Who's 60th anniversary this year! And to celebrate, BBC have put out all the stops, collecting every single bit of Doctor Who media ever. Well, almost every bit of media ever, thanks to not including certain things. Some missing episodes and a bigoted piece of shit gatekeeping the very first story ever. What the hell? Anyway, the BBC have been collecting a lot of Doctor Who stuff together into one folder, which is henceforth being labelled as the Whoniverse. And today I thought, well, surely it would be nice of me to provide a simple guide to what everything is. You know, for all the newcomers out there. So, how about we start at the beginning? Doctor Who is the show that started it all, beginning on November 23rd, 1963, ending in 1989, being brought back for an unsuccessful attempt with a 1996 TV movie, and then returning in full from 2005 to the present day. It is one of the longest running institutions of the BBC, about an alien who travels through time and space, with a human companion or two along the way. The Doctor is able to regenerate any time he dies, thus allowing the show a way to live on forever, and many of his most fearsome enemies include the evil Daleks, the robotic Cybermen, and of course his arch foe, the Master, a rogue Time Lord just like himself. Unfortunately, a lot of the episodes from the 60s are missing due to the BBC's abysmal practices of just throwing out episodes instead of preserving them, because apparently TV wasn't intended to be a valuable art form people would want to see down the line. So of course, if you're going into this brand new, it's going to be very disjointed. Plus, as I said earlier, the very first Doctor Who story unfortunately isn't available on the iPlayer because the son of the guy who wrote the scripts is apparently a racist piece of crap who is gatekeeping it from the BBC. But still, anyway, Doctor Who, great, watch it, yada, you already know this. Doctor Who Confidential was created alongside the 2005 revival and was basically intended as a behind-the-scenes look into each episode. Basically, an episode of Doctor Who Confidential would air on BBC Three right after the newest episode had aired on BBC One, and would offer fans a look into how special effects and costumes and other such were made. Unfortunately, the show was cancelled alongside the 6th series of the parent show due to cost-cutting measures. Thankfully, in 2023, we learned that a brand new behind-the-scenes after show was being created as well, in the form of the upcoming Doctor Who Unleashed. Totally Doctor Who was a series that ran on CBBC through 2006 and 2007, alongside the second and third series of Doctor Who's revival. It basically had cast, crew, and child contestants basically do a bunch of challenges, and also there'll be interviews and stuff. It was also the home of the animated serial The Infinite Quest, whose compiled form is also available separately on the iPlayer. K9 and Company was Doctor Who's first attempt at creating a spin-off, airing in December 1981. It followed Sarah Jane Smith as she's gifted K9 Mark III for Christmas and winds up going on an adventure with him. Unfortunately, the pilot got low ratings, and so the full series was never made. Doctor Who's first successful spin-off began in 2006 after the second series of Doctor Who introduced the secret organization of Torchwood. After a few rough starts, the show eventually matured into a hard-hitting drama full of blood and violence and sex, but, you know, a little bit more mature than I probably made it sound. When it was good, it was really good, offering some of the best material the Whoniverse had to offer at the time. The expansion of Captain Jack Harkness as a character was welcomely appreciated, and Gwen Cooper easily stands along the pantheon of great Doctor Who leading ladies. Plus, the third series, Children of Earth, is definitely the strongest showing Torchwood had to offer. Unfortunately, in 2011, the show attempted a comeback in an American co-production called Miracle Day, and unfortunately it didn't stick the landing, and Torchwood has been in perpetual limbo ever since, with the only continuations we've ever gotten in the form of Big Finish media. Targeting the complete opposite demographic of Torchwood, the other popular Doctor Who spin-off of the 2000s was the Sarah Jane Adventures, which took iconic classic companion Sarah Jane Smith and basically had her fighting aliens in London alongside a group of teenagers. Honestly, this show is just as good as Doctor Who, owing a vast amount of interesting monsters, great characters, and some really hard-hitting plots as well at times, especially whenever the Trickster was involved. This show is a delight and definitely worth the watch if you're a new Who fan, especially if you have a child of your own or are a child yourself. Dreamland was an animated serial from 2009 that was originally exclusive to the BBC's Red Button service, though a compiled complete version was soon made available through TV and DVD and whatever. Basically, it's the Doctor doing Area 51, Roswell crash, grey alien stuff. The animation's a little off, and these days it's probably best remembered for being referenced in the Sarah Jane Adventures twice. What do you get if you cross Torchwood and Sarah Jane Adventures in a blender? Honestly, you probably get something a bit like Class, a young adult series produced in 2016 as a BBC Free exclusive, with every episode written by beloved author Patrick Ness, writer of such books like the Chaos Walking trilogy and A Monster Calls. Class was honestly a series with a lot of potential and a pretty likeable cast of characters all around. Unfortunately, due to the time, I guess, and potentially poor marketing from the BBC, it never really got an audience, and thus was cancelled after its first series. And yes, that does mean there's an annoying cliffhanger that will never get resolved, because for some reason Big Finish has never continued the story from there. The first iPlayer exclusive of the Whoniverse essentially takes classic stories, compiles all the parts together into a seamless viewing experience, and then brings back old actors to reprise their roles in a series of framing devices where the characters basically recollect on the series' events as if they're telling stories around a campfire. Honestly, this is a great way to introduce some more memorable classic Who stories to younger viewers who would need a gateway like this, and the framing devices are definitely worth the watch. Honestly, they're all really sweet. Also included on the iPlayer are a series of documentaries, sciencey things, and even some concerts. You know, if you're looking for a little extra Doctor Who fix outside of the main stuff. Okay, that's everything that is currently available on the iPlayer's Whoniverse folder. Now, here's a quick summary of what isn't there. Scream of the Shalko is an animated serial that was originally broadcast on Doctor Who's website around 2003 to celebrate the 40th anniversary, and despite starring Richard E. Grant as the Ninth Doctor, Russell T Davies basically ignored it when he revived the show in 2005, and these days it's generally fallen into obscurity, although you can still find it on a DVD. There's a very simple reason this isn't on BBC iPlayer. Rights issues. K9 wasn't actually a BBC production, but was instead made by this Australian studio. It basically features K9 Mark 1 as he winds up on a future Earth, saving a bunch of humans and a professor from alien invaders and a shadowy conspiracy. Doctor Who fans probably would be put off by this show just because of K9's radically different redesign. And while a second series was announced back in 2014, as of now it still hasn't made any progress beyond that and seems to have fallen into development limbo. But hey, if anyone's curious, you can actually find the entire show on YouTube for free. Created to celebrate Doctor Who's 50th anniversary, this one-off drama written by Mark Gatiss tells the story of how Doctor Who was created. It basically follows all the way from the beginning in 1963 and culminates in 1966 when lead actor William Hartnell was ultimately forced to step down from the role due to health issues, inadvertently creating the key to Doctor Who's long-time success in the fourth generation. It is a very fascinating and well-written look into the history of the programme, all its early production issues and all that, and I have no idea as to why it's not on the iPlayer, although I suspect it will be here soon, as it is airing on BBC4 later tonight. Well, that's all for now, my Whovian homies. I've been the Doctor Who Kid, and next time I'm going to provide a summary of what you need to know before watching the new specials.